Hello, everybody, Caden here today with the first episode of our new Dinos Creative Park series. I don't really know what I've called this. I'm sure it's got a better name. Hopefully I've thought of a better name by the time this goes up. But anyway, yeah, we're doing a Fossils and Archeology creative series where we'll be building a park and getting all the animals in. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I think at least. But today, obviously, as you've seen by the title and the thumbnail, we are building the entrance to the park. Now, I wasn't originally going to record this because I was like, oh, that's just boring. But I remembered on the Alex's mobs, people were asking if I could, or people were sad I didn't record me building the entrance. So I figured I'd make the entrance for this one. So yeah, you're welcome, everybody. I finally did a video on me building a zoo entrance. I hope you enjoy it. It's kind of funny, like, this build was more complicated than I thought. Like, it took a lot longer to make than I thought it was going to do, and I think it's because of two things. A, I picked a new style. I was gonna originally go with a much more usual zoo entrance that I would go for, which is a lot more rustic. And then I ended up deciding to go for a much more modern looking one. And that was a problem because, well, it's a style I don't usually build in for things like this, so I wasn't really sure what to do. And second, I'm not very good at building zoo entrances. As you kind of see, I think the final thing turns out pretty good. However, it takes me a while to get there, and there's a lot of really funny, well, not necessarily funny, but there's a lot of back and forth as I change things out and pick different blocks and rebuild the whole thing like 4 or 5 times. So yeah, that's kind of a thing that happens here, but you know what, that's on par. Also, this is the only episode that's gonna have like early morning lighting in the time-lapse because, well, I accidentally set the sun to the wrong height and I didn't build this with shaders on, so I didn't even notice that until I was making the time lapse and I was like, oh, yeah, the sun's at a really weird angle. I should really change that. But yeah, that's that. So I guess I should get into what the series is. Basically, if you've seen the Jurassic World Reborn series, or before that unfortunately ended, we're just going to be doing that, but with Fossils and Archaeology mod instead, because I like the mod slightly better. So yeah. That's the basic idea for this. It's not overly complicated. It's not some difficult to figure out series. It's pretty simple. Just make a zoo with a mod and go from there. For those of you wondering, though, we probably are going to go back to the survival world. For those of you wondering if this means there is no more survival world, it's just going to be a little bit as I kind of get back into the swing of things with that. And I'm kind of, maybe not, using this series as a way to get some inspiration for new enclosures and kind of figure out where I want to go with the survival world. And I might drop a little sneak peek here, or not sneak peek, but a little hint that there may, in fact, even be a new survival series featuring some sort of dinosaur park that doesn't use either of the mods we've used before. Kind of spooky. But yeah, anyway, as for the entrance, I wanted to do a lot of like garden areas with this one because I don't usually put much like foliage up front. So I was like, oh yeah, no, we should do like proper fenced off garden areas and elevated garden areas and lots of trees and leaves and make it look all overgrown. And it kind of worked, kind of didn't work. It depends on which part of it is. I don't know. I feel like, oh man, I'm yawning. I am fairly tired. I just woke up when I'm recording this. But yeah, anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, some of the gardens worked. Others, not super sure. I think I might need to get some more plants added to my pack, so that way I have a few more flowers. And I've got a couple of mods I could do that with, cause I don't know. I think I need a bit more variety in color for some of these garden areas. Also, what was it? It was really funny building in 1.12 again after having only done like 1.16 builds for the past few months, because there's so many blocks, I was like, oh yeah, I'll have access to that. And I did not have access to those blocks. In fact, most of them, I'm like, oh wow, no, I don't have any way to use what I was planning on doing here because that block just doesn't exist yet. And I know there's mods that add in like future versions and whatnot. I'm pretty sure that's actually the name of the mod, but yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like I should add in too much in terms of like building blocks. I do like to keep the actual buildings fairly vanilla. I say, as you know, we've already used a lot of a chisel block in this build and sawwood railings and whatnot, but to be fair, you could literally just use a texture pack to change those two out. It's not like I'm using like stone slabs and whatnot. So yeah, I don't know. That's part of the thought process. But yeah, anyway, hopefully, I used to say hopefully the build turns out well. I already know how the build turns out, and it does turn out very well. But I think I'm gonna end the voiceover for here, and I'll catch you guys back. Catch up back with you guys to show off the final build. Alright, and here is the final build. So, a quick thing you'll notice is, A, I changed the lighting. I realized I made a mistake there, so I went back and changed that, because it looked really weird with the other time setting I had. Anyway, a lot has changed about this build since the time-lapse. I took about an extra hour or so, hour and a half, and just kind of worked on it. So you got this, well, a parking lot around here, and it looks better than the other parking lot I made for the other zoo, which is good. And also on this one, I actually worked on detailing the area around it far more, so it actually looks a bit better. Kind of surprised myself. So we got like this tunnel type thing, so it insinuates there's more beyond here, but there isn't, because I'm not going to build a whole road network, you know, that just stretches on out there. That's a bit too much for me to be willing to do. But anyway, looking back at the entrance itself, we've got lots of lovely plants. I'm sure most of this was in the time lapse. I don't really remember anymore. I got railings all along the front here. We got like a sloped way out of the parking lot, and then some steps and whatnot. I made this, a little dino sign, because I don't know, I did that with the other zoo and I felt like it looked cool, and I felt like this would be cool. So yeah, that happened. We've got this little shade area now, a few extra leaves thrown around the entrance, queue system so people can, like, I don't know, get their tickets and whatnot. And I think that's about it, really, that I've added since the time lapse. But I think it's looking really good. I don't know. I think this is turning out to be one of the better zoo entrances I've made, which is kind of nice. I don't usually build very many of these, and especially not in this style, like I mentioned, or hopefully mentioned. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with the fact it's turned out somewhat well. Kind of wasn't sure how good this was gonna be, so the fact that I think it ended up being all right is it's pretty good. I did kind of model it off of something I'd both built and seen in Prehistoric Kingdom, because I don't know, I thought that looked kind of cool. So yeah, but that's the build. I mean, there's not really too much else to show off, because at the end of the day, it's literally just meant to be a hallway you walk through to get to like the actual proper zoo and all the exhibits. Speaking of exhibits though, if you guys have any suggestions for what animal we should do first, leave them in the comments below. I'd love to know what you guys want to see first. I'm not super sure what animal I want to go with first, so I figured, you know what, I'll let the people decide. Probably not going to be T-Rex though. I feel like that's a bit weird, T-Rex right at the entrance, because, you know, it's like, oh, welcome to the zoo. Oh, you've seen the T-Rex? All right. And then they're like, you know, they leave because they saw the one animal they really wanted to see. I don't know. We'll figure it out when we get there. But anyway, yeah, I really do think that's all. I'm like, I should talk about like the design philosophy or something or whatever, but I'm like, I'll be honest, I don't really know. I guess I should maybe look a bit more on the inside. I'm not sure how well the interior showed up on the time lapse. That being said, the interior is not all that interesting. We've got like these vines, we've got the skylights. I know, like, such riveting material here. I did bring the skylights though over from the other zoo. Unfortunately, I only have the oak ones, so I don't have the spruce ones, and I was kind of sad about that, because those spruce trapdoors are amazing for creating like railings and stuff. But yeah, anyway, that's I think that is all we have for today. So thank you all for watching. I hope you've all enjoyed. Let me know what you guys want to see for next episode, and until next time, guys, see ya.